Will cash go extinct? Check out this video. It might and it might not. Welcome back. Coming up on today's program, will cash go extinct? Yes and no. Cash sitting around by itself is subject to inflation, and inflation can incinerate savings. Plus, it's tempting to spend, but cash is very powerful. It can help you with opportunities and certainly emergencies. So a question for you today to throw in your answers in the comment section below. Is cash becoming a thing of the past? Let me know what you think. You're watching What's Next with Money, a program that holds the promise of second chances, strategies for growth, and financial empowerment. Let's get started. Will cash go extinct? Here are the forces saying yes, it will. Safe storage. Storing cash has always been a problem. Under your mattress, subject to theft, your forgetfulness, loss, and a fire. A lot of times you can throw cash into a lockbox or a fire safe or safety deposit box, but that's not always that convenient. It might help except just for theft. We now have apps, stored value cards, cash cards, and even new apps when you take your friends out to dinner or out with family to even split the bills to determine the tip, who bought what. Plus, there's always that special metal sound of throwing down a credit card to make it clink, showing that you've got status. But hey, parents, you can help your kids with cash through new apps like GoHenry and Greenlight, helping them manage allowances, money matches for work being done, even saving like in a Roth IRA. Cyber safety is growing in importance, and now many of these cards and apps have two-factor IDs, encryption, biometrics, scans, and fingerprints. So cash also can be an annoyance at toll booths, for parking, laundry, but more and more of these devices take cards and manage payments and collections in the cloud. They literally incentivize you not to use cash and often add a discount or a penalty if you do. Now, if you like cash for privacy, and many of us do, you can maintain that anonymity through stored value or prepaid cards. Now, cash is a problem for a lot of businesses. Businesses operate on speed. They like to lower costs. Counting cash, depositing cash, having it in supply for each day's business, the transportation and storage adds to the slowness of business and cost itself. You still have Federal Reserve regional banks running around with trucks doling out cash and managing that system. But some other countries have a different idea that I'll show you just a few minutes. We have digital wallet apps like Google Pay, Apple Pay, and they link to bank accounts and other cards. Don't forget peer-to-peer, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, and many of those are enhancing or recommending new security measures. Since they're kind of new on the scene, people are getting to use them more responsibly and with enhanced security measures. ACH transfers, this is auto pay, automatic payments from your checking account. I use those a lot to pay for the utilities at my home. They're pre-set up, and it's a way to receive direct deposits from gig or regular employment. Now with COVID, we've had a definite fear of risk of infection, bacteria, DNA on dollar bills. So we like contactless debit and credit cards. And we've now had over a full year practicing using those new devices. And some businesses actually refuse cash. They want you to pay with a debit or a credit card or something that's maybe prepaid. But there are localities cracking down on these and pushing back. Philadelphia, as a city, said businesses have to accept cash. Crypto and Bitcoin, I'll cover in another video, but they have a significant impact on the use of cash. Now, what about, will cash go extinct? Here are the forces saying, no, 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 it will not. More about hiding, anonymity, but things like in emergencies, if the electrical power is down, you can't use certain debit or credit electronic transfers. cash is your friend. And cyber criminals, they could shut down an ATM network. The power could still be on. And I have a story recently at a 7-Eleven on a hot day. A mom came in with her kids. They wanted some Slurpees, and the network to receive any electronic payment at 7-Eleven was totally down. Their power was on, so people in the store chipped in, helped the mom with cash. The kids got the Slurpees, and 7-Eleven even provided a discount. Now, speaking of kids, the Tooth Fairy usually pays in cash and probably should continue to. And we have the issue of tolls. If you're driving out of state in a new toll highway, a lot of them still allow you to use cash at the toll so you avoid that electronic billing through them scanning your credit card. If you're renting a car, that could be a real hassle and throw at you higher fees. Cash is great to give as gifts. It's tangible, people understand it, and it's meaningful. It locks into folks' memory, especially young people. Great for coin collecting, saving money in a jar, even bills. This slows the movement of money and helps delay gratification. People still, some are wired to save in this way. It really helps them in avoiding the electronic movement of money. A lot of us have fears about data collection and data breach. With cash, that's much less of a fear. And cash is really used for everyday small purchases. It's the ultimate financial backup. It provides value and convenience. And did you know in the US, cash is used for almost half of the payments, half under $10. So for folks that are thrifty and want to kind of manage their money, when you pay with cash, you feel it. It hurts a little more because you pay the price tangibly. We've talked here at What's Next with Money about tangibilizing the intangible when it comes to finance. And cash is a great way to do it. And many times you often spend less using only cash because of that feedback mechanism, how you feel about it. Academic studies have shown people going into a store or a mall with a credit card versus cash will sometimes spend an average of 20% more using the cards or the electronic form of payment versus cash. And you cannot beat cash in a disaster situation. And for all you survivalists out there, these are good for bug out scenarios. So have a stash of cash in your go box, your evacuation box, and this part of your cash is part of your emergency fund. If you live in high-risk areas, that's something you want to pre-build during fire or hurricane season or flood season and be ready. Now, for the unbanked or underbanked, they often have to engage in costly financial services because they're not connected to a mainstream bank or credit union. So they don't have credit or debit cards. Now, in India and Sweden, those countries are offering cards and free debit accounts to lower income individuals to overcome this financial inclusion gap. Now, think about worst case scenario. And I'm not just talking about cyber hacks or the network going down at 7-Eleven. I'm talking big stuff like the electrical grid, and the electrical grid being down for a long time through EMP, electromagnetic pulse. It's kind of a defense consideration. Don't forget, we now have the Space Force. We could have disruptions in satellite technology and even GPS, how money is moved and how some of these apps work. So shutting down networks, cards can't be used. Cash is your friend. And then on the softer side, the less disastrous side, is trends for slowing down personal finance. People that want to live a simpler, more frugal financial life. Now, some are driven, like many of us who have certain credit cards, are driven by using those cards to gain rewards. That actually induces more spending. But folks that want to slow things down, move to a more cash basis, have that simple financial life, cash is what they use. If you need to do a short-term move, not even a bug-out emergency move, cash can be really helpful for paying your way to do that. There are discounts for cash purchases, gas stations, and certain food stores. There are even a few cash-only stores. And Massachusetts, to reinforce this, recently passed a law banning credit card only policies at retailers. If you're traveling internationally, local foreign currency cash can be really helpful and convenient. And it can help you pay for help and even at cash only markets. So stay with us in just a few seconds. I'm going to give you a key piece of information about the future of cash. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. This helps build outreach and connection for a growing YouTube audience. So others who want to learn, it's free and non-commercial. Now here's the key bonus point I promise. And it's really about the future of cash. But I'm going to go old school here for a minute and talk about crime and cash, because this is one of the drivers of will cash go extinct. Cash for crime, money laundering, tax evasion. Famous attorney F. Lee Bailey said, if you want to get rid of certain crimes, get rid of cash. And guess what? We already have some laws that kind of push us in this direction. There's something called the $10,000 rule, which means that any deposit or withdrawal $10,000 or higher at a bank or credit union is immediately reported to our friends at the IRS. And why do they do that? This is called the Bank Secrecy Act to combat money laundering, tax evasion, drug dealing, terrorist financing, and other criminal activities. And could you guess what is the largest dollar bill you can get from a bank or a credit union? I thought it was the $500 bill. Well, it turns out it's the $100 bill. The 500 has been eliminated because of crime and cash. And our friends at the European Union just got rid of the 500 euro. And they called this the currency of choice for international criminals. So that $500 euro is history. And here's why. $1 million of 100s, which is the highest currency you can get in US denomination, weighs 22 pounds. It'd be a lot less with 500. And just for fun, if $20 was our biggest currency, $1 million weighs 110 pounds. So if we got rid of cash, experts say this would force criminal activity through front companies and legitimate businesses being forced to write checks for services never performed. Here's an old quote: cash is trust even among thieves. So this is going to be part of the push and pull to make cash go extinct, the whole aspect of crime. And here's one of the other big forces, and it's geopolitics. China has launched pilots that would eliminate transaction fees for merchants and replace its paper money and coins, the yuan. So this digital money, these electronic payments would be backed by the central bank. And consumers in China would need a digital wallet to generate a QR code to buy something. Now the government, through this, they're going to gain all this access to transaction data, and they're going to compete directly with private payment systems. So the prospect of a digital yuan, and China's likely to be the first big country entry into this area, they can say, well, it's to track money laundering, terrorist financing. But we know, and viewers who watch What's Next with Money know about China's social credit scores or scoring. They really want to track all kinds of things their population is doing. So will cash go extinct? Yes and no. The forces are inconclusive at this time, but they're battling it out. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to What's Next with Money to stay informed. And I'm going to have a companion video called Can Cash Be an Asset in a link below. So be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. And don't forget to share. Remember, new episodes of What's Next with Money are posted on Thursdays